Another way to get happiness is through gratitude. And this is something I think is such an important thing to practice. I practice this every morning and I practice this every evening, and I try to be appreciative for what is around me. And some days that's harder than others. But I learned this lesson, again, from some of the most places where you don't expect it. My boys, many years ago, were about 3 and 5. It's Christmas time, and I'm an overachiever. I had shoved more presents under that Christmas tree than you would have ever thought possible. Come Christmas morning, these children come racing down, and they find their presents, and my 5-year-old, he grabs a present with his name on it, he rips it open, and he's jumping up and down going, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, this is just what I wanted. And he carefully set it down. And then he went over to another gift that I carefully thought out for him, and he ripped it open, and he looked at it, and then he looked at me, and he looked at it, and he looked at me, and he said, Mom, I didn't ask for this. It's a take back. Throws it over his head onto the couch. I'm stunned, but he's already on to the next gift. Picks it up, rips it open, and says, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then he sets it down carefully with the first gift. And then he goes up to another gift that I carefully picked out. He rips it open and looks at it and says, Mom, look, another take back. Throws it on the couch. Now I'm getting upset. And by the time we get through Christmas morning, we have the growing gifts of appreciated presents and the big pile of take-backs. And by the end of Christmas morning, I'm looking at him thinking, whose child is this? And where did he get this attitude? Took 20 years for me to figure out. He got it from me. How many of you are parents that have had those icky epiphanies? But I realized at that point in time that truthfully, had all of the negative things, I know that there was times where I was going, God, headaches, take back. Cancer, take back. Alzheimer's, take back. Failed relationships, take back. But really, if those things hadn't happened, I wouldn't have picked up, I wouldn't have moved across the country, I wouldn't have come to San Diego, met some of the best friends I've ever had in my life, all sorts of speaker friends that I didn't even know were here, people asking me to coffee every day. I mean, I was more caffeinated than I ever was when I worked in the OR. One day, this speaker calls and says, can I take you to coffee? I've got a great idea for a speech. And I'm thinking, I don't really want another cup of coffee. But this guy has sold 3.5 million books. He's been on Oprah, Donahue, Today Show, Sally Jesse Raphael. I had this light bulb that went off. I'm going to let him pay for brunch, and I'll pick his brain. He'll never figure it out. So we meet at 11:30 for coffee. We have a bagel, we have coffee, and we start talking, and we talk a little business, and then we talk a little personal, we talk a little business. And then at one point he says, now, do you need to get back up to Carlsbad, or could I take you for another bite to eat? And I remember thinking, all this guy thinks about is food. I mean, for goodness sake, we just sat down at 11:30 with a bagel, and it's only 7 o'clock at night. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. They closed the coffee shop, so we walked a block, got pizza. 10 minutes later, it's 11:30, 12-hour coffee date. 9 months later at the coffee shop, he asks me to marry him. But wait, there's more. My husband, Greg Godak, is the author of 1,001 Ways to Be Romantic. Pays to be intentional.